welcome to Sisterhood Connections. This is Michelle.
And Erica. And we have a good one for you today, ladies. But Michelle, we got to jump into this Met Gala thing. Dive in. Because, of course, we all have our favorite fashions. But you actually took time to find the history. Because I never really knew what the Met Gala is and what it's all about. But you took time to figure it out. Nobody knew. They didn't. Y'all don't know either.
You know what? Let's just stop. What is this Met Gala about? What is it? And I'm like, I'll come to find out. It's literally a fundraiser. That's it. It's a fundraiser where you pay a certain amount per table, of course. And then the whole draw is everybody dresses in theme, whatever the theme is that year. And of course, you know, as we see the whole red carpet, you know, all that good stuff. And then this year's theme was dandyism, a tribute to Black style, Black tailoring and suits and all that stuff. And it's more than that, literally, because the nerd alert, I went down the rabbit hole and I watched.
Of course you did. Of course, weirdo. Of course. She can't just stay surface and base. Excuse me. She just can't stay surface and basic.
I went down the rabbit hole. And I was like, it's a whole entire, like, not genre, but it is like a theme, you know, a style, a way of doing things, a way of life or whatever. And it's really interesting. Because the actual fundraiser is from the Met Institute, Met Costume Institute. And that's how all of this happens.
So now it makes sense. Okay. With the avant-garde and the accessorized glam. Girl, okay, well, since we're going to talk about this avant-garde and over-accessorized glam and all this exaggerated stuff, you know, that's the art. Well, it's the art, but you know, I had to look and see, girl, what y'all got, what y'all look like. Yeah, let's talk about it. So the one, and I'm like, and it shocked me. I don't know much about this actress. I don't know much about her. However, Miss Jeannie Kim, I don't know if you saw her. She had on the black. It was so feminine, but yet it was an off-the-shoulder black ensemble. You know, with it fitted bodice, and then it kind of flared out. You know, at the waist. But what she did, she stuck that leg out and you saw them pants, like the cigarette pants and the pumps. Okay, so now you've taken it up a notch. It's not just that feminine touch. And then she put the little dainty hat and the little pearls. I loved it. It fit her to a T. It was so, it was cute. I hate to say it, but it was so
cute. Puppies. It was stylish. It was glam. It was gorgeous.
It was stylish.
Yes.
With an edge. With an edge. The pants. Because then, you know, you would think with that little coat, the little long drape, you know, women would throw on, you know, just their bare leg and a nice shoe or whatever. She had them pants.
Right.
She put them pants on.
Oh my God. You know what? No, ma'am. The only one thing I know, like for her team, they paid attention to the theme and executed it well. So we got to give them props for that.
Yep.
They had one job.
Yep. And they got it. They nailed it. It was very nice. That was one of my favorites. Yeah.
Tiana Taylor. I did like her. Because, you know, her attitude already is like in your face and, you know, all this personality and her, all that, everything from head to toe. I'm like, yes, they executed well as well. They did a very good job. I like that one.
I mean, it fit her because of her. I don't know. We don't know her personally. But what appears to be her personality, and she's that strong, you know, and she walked out and owned it. She had that cape, the cape on, the shoes. I was ready for the.
Yes.
I took a walk.
Yes,
I was waiting for the business.
Wow. Yes, ma'am. You need with a cane.
I'm telling you, Shaft was coming around the corner. I'm telling you, she had a cane too.
How did I miss that?
Yes, ma'am. She did that. She did.
I probably did. And just
you didn't see that cane?
That's all I'm gonna do. Look,
go back.
That's all I'm gonna do.
You missed it. Yeah, it was nice. Yeah. Well, girl, we gonna round this up, y'all. But did y'all see Janelle Monáe?
Yes, ma'am.
She always nails it, but her was so. Speaking of the artistic side of it, that particular team took it literally. It was literal. It was like I didn't know that was a coat. So, but by the time I looked, I'm like, it's kind of weird, boxy, you know. But it's the Met Gala. But I saw so many tailored suits: the black, the red, the pinstripe, and then when she took it off,
set up. Wait a minute. Wait. Yeah, you had to adjust your chair. Wait a minute.
Set up. I said, okay, Janelle, I set up. She did that with the hat and the little eye scope,
now,
whatever.
Coco Jones. Did you see hers?
Nope.
Yeah, I would give her because it was elaborate. It was nice and dainty and beautiful. And I said, "Oh, okay. At least she didn't come in with everything out." Just saying, crickets, crickets all day. We're just saying.
Well, your sister did. I would say your aunt, but she's kind of in our generation, and I don't know who told her. I don't know what her team thought was okay. What in the Halle Berry was Halle Berry doing?
She said, "What is?"
Come on, Halle. We know you got it, girl. You still got it. Girl, she still got it. I don't know what she's trying to prove. And I'm in my mind, I'm like, nobody want to look at your cuckoo.
There might be some, but I'm just saying for this particular event, I think that team, y'all, I don't know.
Yeah, and you just got off a panel talking about menopause.
You lying. Maybe she was having a moment. Maybe she was hot. Maybe it's hot.
It's the hormones. You know the hormones. Y'all ladies know all over the place. And she thought, oh yeah, I'm gonna wear this. I mean,
it suits, but she has done it. She has a look. She knows she's been around long enough to be able to, pose it, move it, shake it, drop it, whatever. But yeah, that was
complete.
I think that was a good idea.
Complete fail. I'm like Simon. That was horrific. It was a bloody mess.
It was
horrible. I said, Simon Cowell. Anyway, but okay, we're gonna move on. Oh wait, but the one who took it all, y'all, Lady Danbury. Lady Danbury. Anybody who
channels
Bridgerton, Lady Danbury's great granddaughter. We don't know. However, Miss Jodie Turner Smith. Y'all remember Queen and Slim? She had that burgundy.
They. I make sure to say they. They did that. What they say? Winner, chicken dinner.
The little hat cocked to the side, and she had the strut going in the walk. I said, look at Lady Danbury. That's her. All she needed was.
She got down with that one.
She did. Where's Queen Charlotte? You didn't need Queen Charlotte? I got this. I'm rocking this carpet today.
You have a seat. You sit over there. You know how she good for showing people? Yeah. Right. Yeah, you sit over there. I got this right now.
Hey, y'all. We just wanted to give you an update on some fascinating information that we learned after filming this episode. It is concerning Jodie Turner Smith's Met Gala outfit, which we absolutely adored, and it was our #1 outfit for the Met Gala of 2025, in our opinion. But although we actually felt that this outfit looked a lot like Lady Danbury, the fictional character from Bridgerton, we actually learned that there was a real-life woman by the name of Salika Lazevsky, who was a historical figure who lived during the time of Belle Epoque Paris. And that was called the Beautiful Era as well, also known as the Beautiful Era. She was a Black equestrian. So just think about it. She was a Black woman who was an equestrian. So in 1891, she was actually professionally photographed wearing an outfit that actually inspired the look. So here is Miss Salika Lazevsky along with Miss Jodie Turner Smith. And we had to throw in Lady Danbury, the fictional character image, just so you can see why we felt like it was inspired by this fictional character. But either way, it is still amazing. Let us know what you guys think.
But that's all, for the Met, I think overall, there were some great wears. There were some, of course, that were like, who thought this was a good idea?
What are you doing?
That's what it is.
What in the Halle Berry? Go over there with her and her team, and y'all rethink it.
We're gonna keep hearing.
Okay, we're gonna move on.
Keep hearing that.
We're gonna move on.
Strange feeling.
Yes, we are. Definitely.
Strange feeling.
So anyway, we're gonna write that down. I'm gonna pick a color for the what?
Elementary 1986 5 pen.
No,
I'm writing it down too. Write that down.
Anyway.
Yes. What
in the Halle? Okay, we're gonna get to the topic. We're going to get to it. Y'all, this is a movie review. And for some reason, we decided to do 3 movies.
Everybody has different tastes. So we got to cover everybody.
And the main... Everybody different taste. Right. But the main movie that we really want to discuss is Shadow Force. Mm-hmm. That is what we really want to talk about. But Michelle, you went to see Thunderbolts. Y'all know I wasn't going to see no Thunderbolts. But Michelle went to see Thunderbolts. So,
Thunderbolts.
What you think?
It had a nice message, Thunderbolts. It was a good movie. It had its funny moments. Of course, they're going to mix the action with the, comedic timings and all the other wonderful stuff. So it's a fun movie to watch. And I would actually, if somebody said, hey, I really do want to go see it, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go see it again with you. It's no problem. It'll be fun. Now, the the history of the characters. So I wrote that down. I'm going to give you a brief history of our characters. So we have the Red Guardian, is Russian version of Captain America. And at this point, he's now, still holding on to the past because he still wants to have that same honor and fame of whatever of being who he was back in Russia. Then you have his daughter Yelena, and Yelena, she also was over in the Russian, sector of not assassin, but like the military, special military forces, and she has some dark past things that she's going through. Then you also have the fake Captain America. He was once Captain America, but got caught on camera doing some stuff. So he's been going through a whole mental thing, all these regrets about not being Captain America anymore. You have Bucky. Of course, he's an Avenger. He was the Winter Soldier, and he has his, past evils that he wants to be exonerated of and all that other kind of stuff. You have the who else? Antonia.
Are these people working together? Are all these working collectively, or is this just
these are the different characters that make up the team? So then you have Antonia Dreykov, who is also known as the Taskmaster. She's also an assassin, has her whole little past issues or whatever, and she has a slight superpower where she mimics other superheroes' fighting styles. So you never see her coming.
Oh wow! Yeah, I'm seeing a theme. And I'm like, wait, Shadow Force. Wow. Yep. Ooh, we did that, girl. We did that.
Ghost.
Okay, well, go
She's
ahead.
also another one has past issues, and you have Valentina, who is Julia Louis Dreyfus's character. She's the director of the CIA. So we have a quick, brief idea of who the people are. So Julia Louis-Dreyfus, wants to get a collective sort of assassins that she has created now over here on Project OXE or whatever it was, this whole company. So, but she's now under investigation. So we have to get rid of all of our, everything for this project to say it doesn't exist. They are part of that project. So she then has to, spoiler alert. So then she has to collect all of them.
Wait, spoiler alert, spoiler alert,
so she
spoiler
then
alert.
Has to collect all of them in one place. And now, because she wants to get rid of them. So she tricks them, gets them in one place, tries to kill them. Guess what? They don't die. So, of course, if they did die, because that's common sense, that's not even a spoiler, then the movie would be over. So, of course, no, they don't die. They figure it out. They have another surprise person that's in the same place with them. They're like, who is this dude? Where did he come from? Well, he was another one of the projects. They got locked into this vault.
I'm trying to pull it up so I can have a visual, because, again, I didn't see the movie. So I'm like, let me see what these characters look like.
So
okay, go ahead.
Find him, and, of course, they all get out. Movie goes on, blah, blah, blah. And eventually, they all have to, at some point, reconcile with their past. And the way in which they have to reconcile with the past is the path of the movie. So how they deal with that in order to potentially save New York, because there's an issue now, because the Sentry, he's the villain in the movie. So now in order to save them, then they have to reconcile their past, and they have to figure out if they can move forward or not, and all that other stuff. So the path by which they do that, that's the whole premise of the movie. The fun stuff that comes along the way and all of that. As Marvel fans, yeah, you're going to like it. As a non-Marvel fan, you just have to sit back with an open mind and just give it a chance.
What you trying to say? I mean, okay, let me get my voice together. What you trying to say?
What I am saying directly is go see it anyway, regardless of whether you're a fan of superhero stuff, because the overall theme of the movie, once it kind of came to an end, I'm like, okay, I get it. Things that you have in the past that you're dealing with, you have to face it in order to move forward. You have a choice. You don't have to face it.
Okay. So that's really the premise of the movie, just go, through the characters. Okay. When it comes out, when it starts streaming, I got you, girl.
$1 on that particular thing, because it's not something you want to see. No.
I would have, if you had insisted, because you're my bestie, and you're like, now I went to go see Wolfman because your dumb behind wanted to see. So now if you had done that, I would have been like, she right, let me go. But you said, but I just go see it. I'm like, okay.
We want to see that.
Okay.
Anywho, but Marvel is good. I mean, Thunderbolts is a good one. I like that. So I would give it.
Yeah, I'll check it out when it starts.
Are we going to wait to do
I'm not into Marvel
ratings, or are we going to do them now? Well, for each movie, because I would probably
go
do like 3.8.
Yeah, what do you give it?
5. close to 4, but there were some times I'm like, okay, we're dragging this on a little too much. But I still, the overall theme gave it 3.8 out of 5.
Yes. I mean, me being the renegade. I went to see Sinners. Initially, I did not want to see it just because I'm like, no, I'm not a horror person. But when I heard through others who had seen it, I heard that the musician Robert Johnson, this movie could be based off of his story. Now that piqued my interest because I'm like, wait, that's a real person. So if this is a, based off of his story, I'm in. So I went to see it. Michelle, I told you, everyone should see this movie. The name alone, Sinners, should tell you the base of the movie. Now, I know there's a million interpretations, and y'all go on YouTube. I mean, everybody has an opinion, but the weird thing is everyone's interpretation is different than mine. So I'm like, wait, is it me or is it them? I got something different completely. I mean, some of the things I did agree with. I'm like, yeah, that's 100% correct. But some of the things I'm like, no, what are you missing? So let me tell you. I'm not going to tell you the basis of the movie because, again, I feel like, I mean, it's been number one blockbuster hit. You can find out what the basis of the movie, but this is what I got out of the movie. Michael B. Jordan did a excellent job. I don't know how he was able to do that playing the twins. And I know you have a body double, in certain scenes, but flipping that personality or changing your personality to fit that character. I'm sorry, I'm not saying it correctly. Like in an instant is amazing. Cause it's like, it's only thing the way you can tell who's who is because one has on a blue hat and one wears blue and one wears red all the time. Now let me get to the reason why. They bring the vampires into the mix and everybody knows about vampires. This was my interpretation as a symbolic showing of the devil. And I mean, that's literally what a vampire is. But it was just a visual portrayal to see this particular how the director was able to put this movie together and it was so entertaining, but you got so many interpretations is amazing. But I just felt like, to me, this movie was a lot like, if you've seen Fallen with Denzel Washington, where, you touch a person and that's how, the demon or the spirits transfer to different people who are weak. It's the same thing. It's like, the vampires are the demons. And in order to build the head one, in order to build his army to take over, because he really wanted Smoke. I can't remember which brother. He wanted him. Because they came from Chicago to open up a juke joint in Mississippi. And, whatever. But I'm not going to go into it. But they wanted them. So just like the old saying goes, when it comes to these spirits and everything, they attack the weakest, the weakest ones. And we'll tell you this, and for those that are not spiritual, religious, disregard it. But for me, yes, I had to pray and be like, God, cover me, because I didn't know what to expect, but cover me. And it really wasn't what I thought. But just seeing the demons coming in, or the vampire, coming in and building their army. The thing that got me why I associated with the demon is because he had to ask for permission to enter. So if anybody knows how this works, the demon cannot enter into a person, that has the covering of God. He has to have permission to go into a particular host. Now, if you're weak enough,
that's about to say,
I don't mean to offend anybody.
Weak, are we saying weak as in, how are you defining weak? Because it could just be someone who's just,
weak, like in your, and I'm trying not to make this as a religious thing, in your Christianity, or, you knowing the word and covering yourself and knowing I got God's protection. Maybe you're still growing and building, you know what I mean? And learning. But regardless, if you're in tune with your spirituality and your beliefs, when I'm just speaking of Christianity, if you're in tune with that, you could kind of see where I'm coming from, because he can't enter unless you allow him to enter. Now, if he's trying to get to you, if you notice in your walk in life, there are times certain people will start behaving certain ways. And it's just the fact of, wait a minute. If you sit back and you think about it, it's like, wait a minute. I know exactly what this is. You're trying to get to me through them. You get what I'm saying? And maybe I'm making this bigger than what it is, but to me, I'm like, this movie was right on point with that. But For pull the spirituality to that part out of it. The one part of the movie that got me the most was during it at the juke joint. The juke joint, there was a scene where there was music and dance, and you could see how Sammy was a character that kind of had a Robert Johnson-like storyline, but it was a little different. But it was very similar. So he's playing, and he has this amazing voice, this amazing skills with the guitar. And back then, the blues was considered the devil's music. So, of course, in that scene, you see them singing, and they're singing the blues. And it's just their escape from just a hard life of sharecropping and just getting out of slavery. And it's just our way of letting loose, like the clubs, I guess. But you have this juke joint, and they start dancing and they start singing, and the music is amazing. But what happened is, while you're watching this theatrics of what's going on in the juke joint, you see this woman pop up with an African garb, like traditional African garb. And I'm like, wait, why is that? Don't even fit the scene. Right. Then you see, I meant to look it up, but you know the African tribe that has the quick feet, and it has like the little pom-poms, but their feet are moving real quick. It had him in the scene. So I'm like, wait a minute. Then you look up, and it had people dancing like from the 50s and the 60s and the 70s, the 80s, the 2000s. And I'm like, I get it. It was just showing the transition, the transcending through time of music, and especially starting with this devil music, this secular devil music. And then look where we are today. And I'm like, and I'm just going to say it, we got a trial going on right now with this secular, and I listen to secular music, but with this secular music. So I'm like, okay, very interesting. But as far as like overall, I think this movie is a must see. However, I will say a lot of people, and I think I'm the only one that saw this on a spiritual I guess. I will say, please pray before you go. I mean, it's nothing where I felt where I needed to leave. I didn't feel any of that, but I feel it's a must see. So yeah, but as far as like rating, I will give that movie overall. Acting was phenomenal.
Okay.
I'll give it a 4.5. You know, so I saw a little bit of that. So that was my take. But girl, yep, go see the movie. I loved it. I did love it. I want to see the movie again. Michelle, I know you think I'm crazy, but I want to see the movie again. Because I know there's a lot of stuff that I missed.
If you see
I missed a lot of stuff. But let's get to
probably totally different things. Because you know it took.
Yeah. But girl.
Yeah. Look.
Let me adjust.
No, you said it right the
Let
first
me
time.
adjust
You said it
myself.
how you wanted to say it. Let me adjust
myself
so I can talk about Shadow Force. Yeah.
Shadow Force.
The Assassin's Combination Creed. Assassin Gone Good.
And here's the thing. It's not even just, we're not going to do any spoilers.
Right. Because I'm like,
I hope not.
How can we? I don't.
It just came out.
I'm
gonna try not
to. But okay. Yeah. Okay.
Right. But I will say this may be a quick spoiler. It may be, it's just a little bit. Not only is it an assassin, let me hold on. It may be Kerry Washington. When I tell you that lady carried that family, like, okay, I got you. And she had a plan.
Now that is true. I will have to, now that part, yes, I see what they're doing as far as women being strong, women, you know, these particular, I just call them gender roles. You know, in some instances, they're showing it can be however you make it, whatever works for you, whatever works for your situation. Hey, do it.
And we can't take away from the husband, Omar Sy. You can't, phenomenal. We can't take away from him because him playing a father of a son, just think a black man literally showing so much love and, you know, I don't want to say softness. That's not what I mean, but the genuine love for his
softness that
son.
Males, the different kind of softness from a male perspective to his son than a mother's female's perspective to their son is different. So it is a softness, but it's a masculine softness that only they can understand. We're not men, we don't, whatever, but they get it.
We're not. But it was phenomenal. He was so good with his son. I mean, just rubbing his head. He's like, Dad, you know, can you tell me again about what his mom was in mom's stomach, or I was in mom's stomach, or whatever.
Don't tell it.
And they're in the tub. I'm not going to tell. Okay, well, just the caressing of his son's head while he's talking to him about his mother, and then certain songs, the favorite song in the brick house. He's a brick house. She's my dead. Just letting it off.
Okay.
Okay, we back. So yeah, you got to see the movie. The son was like, that was one. He asked his father, Dad, what is a brick house? And Dad tried to lie. He tried like, you're not ready, because he's only the son is only 5, 6 years old. So he's like, I can't tell you. Then he's like, I can't lie to you either. So then he was so nice about it. It was perfect. He's like, it's just a way of describing a beautiful, curvaceous woman.
Dad fixed it.
And I'm like, look at Daddy.
On the fly. Because you want to be honest. You know, you want to be honest.
But look, you want to be honest. If not, you'll have a professional tooth fairy on your hands, like my kid wanted to be. I'm like, I gotta fix
a flat.
But
he did.
But then the little boy was like in the car with a brick house, and he said, "So is that like the boobies?"
And he said, "Boobies and
what is that? Boobies and booty?"
And he said, "It's curvaceous in the 36, 24, 36. Is that the booty?"
That's close. I'm like, look at him.
I like that.
That was amazing.
Okay.
But just
when they pulled the cloth off of the car and they are driving and she's, showing like what all the car has, why my heart fluttering? I'm like, oh, it's like that. Clutching pearls. I love it. Can I get in it? I just want to drive.
Yeah.
I love muscle cars. Yeah. When I say I love muscle cars. And
she had it all in
had the muscle car. Okay.
No, girl, the best shot. When she's like, you've been out of the field too long. Okay. And there's a reason why we're not going to give a spoiler, but for a long time, she had to be away. And I'm going to leave it at that. For a long time, she had to be away to protect her family. But girl, when she finally, okay, I got to go. I'm not going to tell you what happened how they reunited. But when they reunited, it was like, okay, we back to what we do. They actually, girl, did she not kick his butt? When she threw that boot up that leg and kicked, I said, God, I sure want to do that so bad. I want to do it so bad.
I literally did this when I saw her message. She sent me a message.
Let me go.
I was like,
let me stretch.
I can't
do it so bad.
I cannot deal with her. I'm not fooling with her at all. Period.
Yeah. I'm like, but then it was done because they trained to do that. So it was just kind of like, let me see what you still, got. But the shooting, and she's like, let me see what you got. And he nailed it. They had the target, and he nailed it, and he looked at her and she's like, pretty good. Okay. And then she took it and it was like, bam. Now that's what you're supposed to do. See that? And she said, I've always been a better shot. And I'm like, that's my girl right there.
I can already see you in the theater. You got set up. I know that's right, girl.
I did. And y'all, let me tell you, when I tell you, thank God I was in YouTube, Michelle. I was blessed enough to go in the middle of the day on a Friday, middle of the day. There was literally only me and 2 other people. And I sat I like the handicap section. I don't know why. But I don't know how to space, and you feel like you're in my own little world, my own little cocoon. But it was just us. So they're way in the back, and I could hear them kind of talking, whatever. So I'm sitting there, and yes, this time I didn't forget my blanket. I had my blanket, jacket. Yes, ma'am. I was sitting up. I said, "You better show him, girl. You better show him." But then we're not gonna just give Carrie all the credit. Because let me tell you, Mr. Omar, the look on his face, and that's why I'm like, I'm a new fan. The look on his face when a secret, and we're not going to do any spoilers, but there was some information that came out that he wasn't aware. And it wasn't a look of, why didn't you? It was like, why didn't you tell me? But that ain't my concern. It was the look, man, that ain't my concern. It was before me. But when it was like, who again?
That was her. Yeah.
This over. Go see the movie.
Yeah, shout out for
go see the movie.
Now, don't you do it. Don't you do it. I want to get her name right. So I'm going to look this. I'm going to make sure I say it properly and correctly. Shadow Force Cast. Because I want to make sure I have her last name perfectly fine. But I need to make sure. Hold up. Why don't I have her listed with more? There you go. Ooh. Divine Joy and Method Man. Those 2, I'm going to say it again. Divine Joy and Method Man.
I'm making a lot of, it's so many twists and turns. Oh my God, it's so many twists and turns. But let me tell you what you say her name is. What's her?
And Method Man.
That's my girl.
Auntie and Unc. I need Shadow Force is one. Yes, please, everyone, go see it. Just go see it. We're not gonna tell you anything about
Go see
they
Shadow Force.
those two
Go
mixed with those other
see Shadow
two.
Force.
That's a fantastic
They stole it.
cast. That's great. The rest, all the other assassins and the main,
Oh,
main. Of course, there's always a villain. So the main villain, they all did their jobs. They did fantastic jobs, and there were twists in it. But
they
the
did.
whole, I was like, oh,
Yeah, she was so on point to where she
yeah,
had
all
a
the backups
backup
had
for backup
backups.
for
Everybody had
backup.
a backup.
Just when you thought, girl, just when you thought, I'm like, oh wow, y'all, I don't know how y'all gonna get
The
your
fact they're
MacGyver
not the
skills
MacGyver.
together. I don't know how they gonna get out of this, but they're the
Y'all better
main
call the
character.
amateur.
I'm
Y'all
just
better call
saying,
the amateur.
they want to get out.
You know how to do it.
Better call
Call
the
the amateur.
amateur. Call the
Okay, he know
amateur.
what to do.
Call the amateur. But
No,
when she looked
tell
at her, the
nothing
look on
else.
her face,
Y'all gonna have to go see it.
I ain't gonna
Y'all
tell
gonna
it.
have to go see it.
Not gonna tell it, girl. I ain't gonna
Don't
tell
do
it.
it, girl.
Ain't
Don't do
gonna
it.
do it,
Don't do it,
girl.
girl.
I ain't gonna do it.
Don't do it. Y'all see? Yes, yes.
Go see it. Auntie and Unc stole. They didn't steal the show, but they stole some scenes to where I'm
They
like,
need to
y'all
do a
need a
movie.
spinoff.
Yes,
The two of you
yes.
need a spinoff.
Yep.
They really do. They really do. They did.
She
Go
said
see
what
this
she said.
movie.
She said what she
Go
said.
see this movie. Go see this movie. The action pack is go see the
I said what I
carrying them
said.
boots.
She said what she
She
said.
had them
We
boots
said
on.
what we said. Go see the movie. Go now.
And Mr. Omar was like, "All right, I let you do your
I got
thing. Now,
this right
Daddy
here.
got this.
You go over there. You go over there.
Well, I let you do your thing. I let you. And then at the girl, and then we gonna tell the end. And at the end, he was like, "You ready? You ready? We got something else to handle. One
And
more
they did
thing."
what they had
She
to
was
do.
like, "Let's do it." Boom, done. Go see the movie. All right, what we
Okay.
gonna rate it? We gonna rate it. What you give
That
it? What
one
you give
would
it?
be, because I'm trying to think, was there any particular times where I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever. So I would do the only thing was like the very beginning when everybody finds out where he is, like the way that they found out. I'm like,
Mhm.
wait a minute now.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then now
Yeah, it
another
was
thing, like when we did the amateur, how did you get once the one thing happened? How did you get from here to here? How did you get to here to there? They
for
did
there.
do the initial one when they, did whatever, got the first place with the son and the dad. But how else did you move around? So that's
Yeah, it was a little weird because it was like
yes,
in a
yes.
flash. There
I'm
you
like,
go.
wait a minute.
No, what he
That's
tell
what we
his
did.
son?
That's
Close
what
your
we
eyes,
had to
cover your
we
ears,
closed our
Daddy. Got
eyes
it.
and covered our
He
ears, and
got
we
it
were just
handled.
there. So just for that, that would make it like the 4.8 or 4.5.
One more thing. He had a special set of skills too. And all I'm gonna do is this. You see that man do
Yeah,
this?
please do.
Run. Just Lord.
Remember that back in the 70s, 80s, the cartoon Sylvester the Cat, and he had a son, and his son would be like, "Oh, father, that."
Oh, Father.
I said, "That boy, foghorn, leghorn, pull them
That
all
right
out."
there. And
Yeah,
girl, it was almost superhero like because he would close his eyes. And it's like, all right, I didn't want to. I don't want to get to
I
this
gotta go.
point,
I
but it's
gotta go.
like, you know what?
So how about that? Yes, because I'm gonna cut you off. If you
That's
done
it.
told
Go
something,
see it.
no.
Go
Yes,
see it.
go.
You said 4.8. I know. I'm done. 4.8. I'm at a 5. Well, I can't give it a 5 because again, there were moments where I'm like, yeah, that's a little weird. Definitely.
Okay.
You said 4.8, 4.5.
Yeah.
Just because 4.5. Go see the movie Shadow Force. Good job, Miss Washington.
Yes.
Good job, Mr. C. What's the little
Oh
boy
wow!
name?
Yes.
He's
What is
amazing.
his name? My bad. I didn't even get his name. His name is Jalil
Is it?
Kamara. Yes, Jalil Kamara. Yes.
Y'all look out
Yes.
for him.
Great job.
Look out for him. So, well, that's it. That was our movie reviews. Is it movie reviews?
Absolutely.
Movies
I
review.
just cannot see
Movie
movies
reviews. I can't either, but again, some things I'm trying to figure out when did realize start being spelled with an S and not a Z.
Overseas.
Just random. Yeah,
Yes,
just
ladies.
random, but
We enjoyed.
yeah.
Have a good evening. Have a good weekend. Have a good everything. We'll see you next week.
That's it. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Baby, tell me to go.